Welcome to Hard-Hitting News 365. Let's get into it.
We're going to keep the strait, and we'll probably run it. We'll become the guardian of the strait. Maybe we'll call it the guardian angel of the strait, and we should be reimbursed for that. We guarded it for nothing, and now we're going to guard it. We're going to get paid for guarding it, a lot of money. But we just want to be reimbursed for doing all of this, for putting our people in danger. But we're really not putting people, we're really saving people.
For one extraordinary day, Donald Trump appeared to put a price on the Strait of Hormuz. America, he argued, would act as the guardian of one of the world's most important shipping routes, and those benefiting from that protection should pay. Now, there is a serious argument buried inside that idea. Why should American taxpayers repeatedly carry the military cost of protecting global trade, while wealthy countries and major corporations benefit? That is a legitimate question. But there is another question that matters just as much. When does protection become control? Because protecting an international shipping route is one thing. Acting as though that protection gives you the authority to charge the world for using it is something very different. The Strait of Hormuz is one of the most strategically important waterways on Earth. Iran borders it. Oman borders it. But neither Iran nor the United States simply owns international passage through it. And that distinction matters. Iran has threatened and disrupted commercial shipping in the region. That should be condemned clearly. A country does not gain the right to use civilian shipping as a political weapon simply because an important waterway lies beside its coastline. But the same principle has to work both ways. American military power may help protect international shipping. That does not automatically turn the Strait of Hormuz into an American toll road. There is a legitimate case for burden sharing. Countries that depend heavily on secure global trade routes should contribute towards maintaining that security. America should not necessarily be expected to carry every military and financial burden alone, but burden sharing requires cooperation and agreement. It is not the same as one powerful country saying, "We protect the route, therefore we decide what everyone else pays." Security is not sovereignty. Military power is not a property deed. And then the story changed. The proposed 20% charge was dropped, with the argument shifting towards investment arrangements with Gulf states. So was the charge ever a realistic policy? Or was it negotiating leverage? Trump's supporters will say this is exactly how he operates. Make an aggressive demand. Create pressure. Force other countries to negotiate. Then accept a different arrangement that still benefits America. There may be some truth in that. If wealthy countries benefit from American military protection, asking them to contribute more is not unreasonable. But critics will argue that America cannot claim to defend freedom of navigation while behaving as though military dominance gives Washington ownership rights over the route. And they also have a point. So here is the evidence-based position. Iran does not have the right to turn the Strait of Hormuz into a geopolitical weapon against civilian international shipping. But America does not acquire ownership of the strait merely because its navy is powerful enough to protect it. The strongest part of Trump's argument was never the toll itself. It was the underlying question of who pays for global security. That debate is legitimate. The political right will see Trump as forcing wealthy allies and trading nations to stop relying on American protection for free. The political left will see American military power being converted into political and economic leverage. Both sides have blind spots. The right should not confuse American military strength with automatic legal authority. And the left should not ignore the reality that freedom of navigation sometimes requires real security, real military capability, and real financial cost. Here is the HHN 365 verdict. Iran cannot turn Hormuz into its private pressure point. America should not turn it into its private business model either. If the principle is genuinely freedom of navigation, then it has to apply consistently, whether the country trying to dominate the route is Iran or the United States. Protecting international shipping is legitimate. Sharing the cost of that protection is a legitimate debate. But protection does not equal ownership, and military power should never quietly redefine an international waterway as somebody's private asset. So the real question is this: when a superpower protects a vital global trade route, where does protection end and control begin?
If you value evidence over tribalism, subscribe to Hard-Hitting News 365. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one.